Hello and welcome to Contact Payroll Online Training. I'm Rupert. In this chapter, I will be introducing the branch master file, the department master file, look at the cost centers, and then also setting up an employee record. So we're going to log into the payroll system with the default username and password. We don't want to view the message. So for the organization and the payroll setup, we're going to organization setup, master files, and you'll see there's transaction, there's departments, branches, overtime rates, financial institutions, etc. We're first going to look at the branch setup. So we could have, for one organization, we could have several branches. Like for instance, let's say we're talking about my production company. I could have a branch in Pretoria, I could have a branch in Johannesburg, and I could have a branch in Cape Town. And when do I set up different branches, and when do I actually set up different organizations? Well, if they all use the same pay-as-you-earn number and they're all registered under the same VAT number and the VAT account at SARS, then that is one organization. And in that organization, I may have different branches. So just to show you, I've set up a test branch, and I can actually call this branch the Pretoria branch. Under my branch setup, I've got my period indicators, which I won't be going into at this point in time. I've got my UIF percentages. I've got my GL link for in case I would like to link this branch transactions to an accounting system, as for example Pastel. I've got my coinage analysis, which I could enable here. I've got my remuneration defaults. I've got advanced, and I've got user-defined fields. So that is my branch parameters, which I've just showed you. What's very important is that as soon as I start creating employees on my payroll, I need to have at least one branch. So you could have, I'm just going to insert a second branch, and we can call that Johannesburg. I could have a second branch, and I could even have a third branch, Cape Town. But I need at least one branch to be able to set up employees. So those are my branches, and then if you look here at the bottom, it actually gives me my current period, current months for that specific branch. And I'll get into that as soon as we start processing. Then of course, if I go into organization setup master files, departments, those are departments for each branch. Like for instance, I can create an administration department. The payroll automatically gives me a code for administration. And if I click on next, and I click on next, the payroll actually allows me at this point to set up my cost center for the Pretoria branch administration. So I'm going to show you what that actually means by clicking OK. So I've created one department with a cost center for Pretoria administration. So let me just show you again. I'm going to add another department. Let's call it technical. Those are for all the technical employees within any of my branches. So you'll see the payroll automatically gives it a Tech 001 code. If I click on next and next again, I select my branch, which is Pretoria. It automatically gives me a new cost center code. And if I say create, it creates a Pretoria Technical Cost Center. What am I doing here? In essence, I'm actually just linking my branch to my department, and then I'm getting a cost center. So, and I can do exactly the same, for example, for Joburg. So I've got in Joburg, I've got a technical department, Joburg Technical, and I can do exactly the same for Cape Town. So I've got Cape Town Technical. Click on OK. So I've got administration. I've only got one administration department, which is Pretoria, and under technical, I've actually got three technical departments, which is in Pretoria, Joburg, and Cape Town. So I am going to just show you one more. Let's say we've got a sales department in each of these branches of mine. So I'm creating a sales department, clicking on next. The payroll allows me to select a branch for sales. So I'm saying, well, sales is in Pretoria. The payroll say, well, new cost center code 001 sale. It creates a Pretoria sales department. I say, well, okay, I have actually got one in Joburg also. So the payroll creates a cost center Johannesburg sales. I've got one in Cape Town. and it also creates a Cape Town sales for me. And then I can click OK. So what do I actually have now? I've actually set up a couple of cost centers. You can view the cost centers on a separate screen by going to Structure Cost Center link. And there's all the cost centers that I've actually set up. So you can actually view the cost centers either from the department screen, or you can view the cost centers from here. You can even set up a cost center with your own codes from this screen, but I've just showed you the easy way from the department screen. So just to show you again where it is, it's Edit, Organization Setup. You've got your master files, you've got your branches, departments within branches, which then is linked to get cost centers. And